All right, guys, we're going to change it up today for just a little bit because I'm behind and I had a busy weekend with other plans. So we're going to just do a walk and talk and kind of do a status of all the projects. So spin you around and let's take a look. So starting with the Bonneville. So still up in the air. The frame has been scrubbed and Eastwood rust encapsulated. It looks lovely. And similarly, the springs, core support, stuff that didn't make sense to have powder coated has been coated and is looking excellent. So we're getting to the point where we're ready to start assembling rather than disassembling. So going to continue on this guy. I had a great meeting with the customer last week and made a few key decisions. So look for some big updates on this one. So let's swing back around to the other Pontiac in the room. So a couple quick updates on this guy. So 79 Trans Am, for those of you that don't know, this is my personal car. I've owned this for a very long time. It's been through a few different phases and yeah, so where are we at now? Real high level, the new motor is in the car. It's all aluminum 5.3. Peeking at it from the bottom, we've got an LT1 T56 that's been converted to LS1 style. So new bell housing, and then converted the transmission front plate. Got the remote bleeder, T56 style, slave cylinder, and that's enough talking about that. So what do I have back here? I have the transmission cross member mocked up. So solid motor mounts, but urethane trans mount, quick back bracket whipped up here, dropout connections, and then I bent up these hoops. This will be for my clearance for my exhaust. So the plan right now is to run a 2.5 inch X pipe in the middle, bullet mufflers, and then the tailpipes from the previous generation. So I've got these bent up. These are going to weld to the subframe, tie into the cross member. Let me grab a light here. So you can see the solid motor mounts. Those have been in the car since my friend Ryan helped me put those in many years ago, and no regrets. So one thing I am cleaning up is the transition. I did not prepare well for this, so forgive me for the shaky cam. Come on. There we go. All right, well, I'm just going to get the idea. Seriously, how hard is it to point a light? There. This transition was a little awkward. I didn't do such a great job. So right now I have a new piece to connect these two. I'm going to get this cleaned up and welded. Probably going to load the suspension to get the car settled like it should be, and then I'll weld these pieces back in. And like I said, I've got these marked, so I'll pull these out. The fit on these is actually pretty good. They're just holding themselves in place with the modest amount of pressure. So I'm going to stitch these in a few places, weld the tube here, stitch, and then stitch weld. So that should clean that up. The drive shaft from had a T5 5-speed in before. Drive shaft, I lucked out that it was just the right length. It's right on the short side. It could probably stand to be shortened a little bit, but this is at full droop, and the rear end should move rearward as it moves up. So we should be golden. So real high level, I just want to get this bolted together and running. We'll come back with a more thorough update soon, but that's that guy. So I made this joke before, but this is income and expense. So good Pontiac, good but different. So this guy is a recent auction find. This is a weird Wysong and Miles company. I don't know, whatever, it's a weird brand. It's a 3-foot slip roller. This is kind of cool. It has a a lift up lever to disengage, or rather to pick up the third roller so you can slip your rings out the end. But everything seems to be in order, and I've wanted a slip roll for a long time. So look for this in future projects. We are gonna get back on the Buick at some point, and then the Chrysler is a little bit longer term. So lots to do, emphasis being the Bonneville. I would ideally like to drive this car this year, preferably not in the snow, so we'll get on that. The poorly pinstriped bandsaw is working phenomenally well. And let's step back into the clean room. I got a couple other fun things to show you. I think that's gonna be all for today, so let's kill the lights. Do-do. Do-do-do-do. All right, so I don't think I've shown this yet. This is the rear axle for the Bonneville. It's back from powder coaters. New pinion seal, new gasket, axles are back in. It's looking pretty nice, and I'm starting to reassemble the brakes. Panning around here, all of the components came back from powder coat. Kramer Tech Coating in Ann Arbor did all of the powder coating, and it looks phenomenal. So that's always fun. I'm gonna get the brake hardware greased up and installed, and keep pressing on that guy. This is the fuel sump. I'm gonna run a dual pump setup on the Trans Am, so a little bit of welding to do on this. And then the subframe connectors, these are the transitions. Made them out of plate because they're all funky shapes, but I'm gonna get those welded in as well. So a little bit of work on the Trans Am coming up. And then one little tidbit for this week that I'm going to show is this cast iron base. It's approximately 3 feet in diameter. I bought this on a whim. It had a rivets or a PEM stud press thing attached to the top of it, but I cut all of that off, welded an extension and a few scraps from the scrap pile. This is about a 32-inch diameter ring that I rolled on the ring roller that we just looked at. So that's 10-inch wide, 14 gauge, rolled in a ring, and this is gonna be my new shop sign. So I'm gonna do something cool, 2 sides with LED lights to make a outside light, paint this up nice. Kind of a fun thing. I'm feeling a bit artistic, I guess, but like I need another project. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I did want to talk a little bit about my, those of you that have been around for a while might notice that the Trans Am poster is gone, and instead I have an old flat screen TV that I mounted up here. I'm running a little, I forget the brand, but there's a little mini PC taped back there. So it's running full Windows 11. And I thought this would be a nice, shop machine to set up like Notion and maybe watch YouTube videos occasionally and things. What I found that last week I ended up power watching a whole season of Rick and Morty, so that was fun. But honestly, trying to stay a little more organized. I want to try, and I think I mentioned in my last video, organize my cabinets a little better. I'm trying to figure out how I want to make a database to, better organize the shop. So that's on the to-do list, and this should be helpful. So trying to add a little improvements each week as we go. We're gonna try this again with the microphones. All right, let's wrap this video up because this has been fun, but it's time to put a bow on it. Lots of fun stuff in the works. I've got lots of projects, and it's hard for me to focus on any one particular task. So what my goal for myself over the next, let's say like 4 to 6 weeks, is to continue working on whatever projects I need to, both for paying customers and my personal projects. compile enough content, and then start to put out a video on just a particular topic. So getting away from the ADHD special 6 topics in a row kind of thing. That's going to take time to get that all settled out, but a lot of fun stuff that I want to do on the Buick, on the Trans Am. I'm excited to see the Bonneville come together. It's going to be a nice car again. So stick around if you want to see whatever stuff I get into. I appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, thank you. Please consider subscribing. I like seeing that number inch up every week. It's cool to see the growth. I know this is a really niche, channel, and I'm learning and trying to get better with the editing and stuff. But we're growing a little bit at a time. It's cool. And with that, I think I'm going to end this video off. Hit upload on it and call it a day. So 30 out of 31 weeks, I missed 1 upload. So I'm going to give myself a pass. We're doing pretty good, and I will likely see you guys next week. Thanks.